see it only when it's actually like pointed right at you. You'll see a flash because the angle of the light hitting the mirror goes straight back to your eye, and for that split second.
But the mirror wouldn't have any affected height in how we're seeing it. We could see the light hit our eye, but if we were measuring the angle of the actual mirror, there would be no perceivable difference.
But we're not talking about mirrors. I use that as an example for reflectivity. Now, the panes of glass, and there are hundreds and thousands of them in front of people a couple miles away, and they get to see these reflections daily. I see buildings 2-3 miles away, all the glass. Easy. Yep. Easy as pie. Every day. 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. I got them all. What do you want?
Yeah, but if you had it drawn in front of you, like a building drawn on a piece of paper in front of you, and you were asked to move it or tilt it 0.1 degree, do you think that it even at that small scale, you'd see anything discernible?
If you point a light at it and try to reflect it at your eyes, you would get a problem.
Can you hear me, Chocolate?
Yeah, I hear you.
You're live at the moment. I just want to check you're cool with that, because Sleeping Warrior said you wanted to rejoin but got kicked.
Yeah, I got kicked.
But you're happy. You're happy to be on air on Skype, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Same with you, Adam. You cool with that? Is Adam there? Maybe. Hopefully he's heard.
I had me mic off. I'm talking.
Oh, no worries. Are you cool with that?
0.1 degrees. We're
not
talking about 45 degrees or 10 degrees or even 1 degree.
Light will deflect, and that 0.1 degree over 3 miles is many, many feet.
Okay, I had you muted from the Hangout.
Don't try to obscure it by minimalizing these tiny degrees of inclination and stuff. They are very real, and they are great, actually, when you measure them over the distance. And like I say, these posts that are always represented vertically from and plumb from each other, and the buildings just represents that it's all plumb and flush to each other at 90 degrees. No matter how far away they are. The buildings I'm looking at in front of me and that tower are plumb. They were centered and a foundation made as level as the foundation that I'm on. They're both level.
How far away is it from you?
The tower is 12.3 miles.
Okay, so like I said,
buildings I can see are 3 miles to 1 mile. No problem.
0.15 of a degree. And you're saying that it would add up?
Pardon me?
You said that the difference would add up, but wouldn't you just like I said, if you leaned forward, wouldn't you just match this degree?
Okay, I'm on a hill 20 miles away reflecting a light at you in a small mirror. I lift that, what, your 0.1 degree. Are you going to see it anymore?
It depends on...
No, it doesn't depend. No. Light will travel from that mirror in a straight line to your eye, or it won't. There's no, it depends.
Right. No, I'm saying
you're trying to say light is going to be magic off that mirror, and it plays games and hooks around what, another mountain or something? You're talking line of sight. No,
you're suggesting that it's moving, but if instead you moved it 1.5 degree and you found where that light would find it, it wouldn't be that much further.
Say you're on the hill and it's mounted on a tripod 20 miles away from you. Looking straight at you, the light is coming at you. Now I even tilted on the x-axis a little bit, that 1 degree. You're saying you're going to still be able to see it.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's a link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Now we are joined by Chocolate Sayin, Adam Meakin, Sean, Sleeping Warrior, Rune Thornson, Relly, Jose, James, Goldemo, Chris Monk, and Block. How are you all doing?
I'm doing fine this wonderful day.
Fandabidozy.
Afternoon, everyone.
So about that curvature.
What curvature?
So do we all agree now that Snell's law can only apply where there's a boundary between two mediums, right? No boundary, no Snell's law. That's why Fermat's principle on the trajectory of light is the correct science. Anybody disagree with that?
Yes, I do. You can have different densities, different mediums without having a barrier whatsoever. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can, but you can't have Snell's law applying unless you have the barrier.
Yeah, even if you have a drastic change.
Yeah, if you have a drastic change, you'll get a boundary.
Well, that's what I mean. That's precisely what I mean. But you're describing it if it's both on the sea level, if you're talking about two things on sea level. Because if you're talking about something that's...
Yeah, let's talk scale. Before, people were comparing things like at the top of Mount Everest to the sea level, but we're all at sea level pretty much. And the pressure changes and the density changes are measured in millibars, which are microscopic, right? So we're not seeing that scale that was being talked of before. We're seeing microscopic changes in the variables, which does allow for the deviation of light, but it's in 360 degrees, and it's subject to Fermat's principle on the trajectory of light rather than Snell's law that requires a boundary and a medium change.
Okay, so like I said, it just depends. Like, it depends on what you're talking about measuring. If you're talking about measuring something that's close by, then it would be a smaller change. But if it was something like the sun in a distance,
terrestrial observations from one shoreline to another shoreline in the same medium, pretty much the same pressure, temperature, density, microscopic variations.
Yeah, perhaps I'd have to do research on that. I know the difference at different altitudes, but I don't know about how much it will change from the distance.
That lack of massive altitude change that means, I mean, you are going to get changes in the temperature and the density because of altitude, but it's only going to be isotropic. It's not going to be a boundary with a medium between it. It's going to be a gradual change over a long period, and that's why Fermat's principle is the one. You do have to have the boundary between two layers.
Well, still, even a place like a mountain range or like Colorado, for example, or Mile High, it's like 11 psi compared to 14 psi. So I know you say it's not a big change, but it is two different media. I mean, it's two different densities. I mean, I would imagine that refraction would still would come into play. I just wouldn't know how to measure it.
Hello?
Just to let everybody
that haven't made by Ranty and you, Sleeping Water, they haven't been like a mile high and a mile under sea level, right? They've been pretty much even. So yeah, it's same medium. Hello?
Hi, John.
Yo. What's going on, gentlemen?
Good to have you.
Oh, no. Are we on live? Or
We are live, yes.
is this a third show?
It is. My kid's in Kidderminster with his grandmother, so happy to do a third show.
Yeah, I just caught the last part of the second show, and it wasn't very much. I had some things I had to do this morning. It was a real cluster screw. So what I missed? I guess that's unfair.
just to let everybody in chat know that if anybody that was in the previous show that got kicked because we had a passive sniper in that I didn't spot was sniping, Nathan said that he will join. They can join on Skype if they wish to. I'm gonna have to go on mute because there's going to be a fight.
Yeah, just send me a message on Skype if you're a friendly and I've got you on my contact list, and I'll just add you. You have a full panel. Do you share the show? Okay, I'll add Arwin as he wants in.
I still say that all the objects like phone posts, all these towers, whatever, as they get smaller in the distance with perspective, they also should be, well, if you have a slightly side view of them, leaning away from each other towards, the horizon. They shouldn't be vertical to each other like buildings. They should lean away from each other. Across a bay, across whatever. The tower in Toronto shouldn't
you would think so, right?
Well, it only makes sense if it's a ball and there's that much distance, 20 miles, 270 feet or so of, supposed curve. Everything that's plumb along the curve to the quote center R of the Earth has to be plumb vertical with that R, that center, as it goes around the curve. Whether it's
looming.
These wind towers, I mean, they would have to, from the viewer's point of view, be leaning away from each other, each one from the next as you go back into the distance, whether it's phone posts or whatever tower structure, whatever, they should lean away from the viewer.
Yeah, maybe they are discernible amount each other.
It's looming thanks to R.
Don't worry about the.
Go on, John.
Don't worry about the leaning. This is very simple concept right here, right? They have to show a non-linear linear line. End of story. Right? Because curvature is non-linear, right? It's a squared function. And we're getting linear lines. Those are lines of perspective. It's just that simple.
Exactly.
So let's just stick with that. Don't worry about the angles that are going away from each other. It's just a simple argument. You can't have non-linear linear lines. Right?
You can.
Well,
you can.
A 360-degree circle is symmetrical.
It's R-based looming. It's very simple.
But it's based on your observation position. So you have this build-up of curve between you and the target. So, like you say, it's a squared function. I used the word exponential in my video, which was incorrect. But correct, John. Yes, it's a squared function.
Yeah, so it's over right there. What do you have to do? You have linear lines on their alleged spinning ball religion when it's a non-linear function. It's just that simple. It doesn't take friggin' differential equations to figure this out. Look at the picture, draw linear lines. If you can, it's not a globe. End of story. But time to clean the bathroom.
But that would only be true if things are actually as they are. And they're not, because they're all looming into a flat plane.
What?
Art, when you're doing a good job, just sounding like the Globers.
No, I'm doing a much better job than the Globers because they don't get it.
Yeah, but you got, sometimes instead of saying looming, you got to say gravity. That's their other tick.
Okay, gravity. Yeah, it doesn't have to do anything with the observations because.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They just interject them when they want. So.
Right, but yeah, this is the only argument they have, and they should stop trying to find that curve in actual visuals because it's not there, because it can be there, because they will never be able to see it as literal as their model shows them where things are on the ball. It doesn't look like that. It can't look like that because it is actually looming up into that visual flat plane. So it's it's no use. It's no use to try to find a curve there because you can never see it because it's bending up into a flat plane. I don't get it. Why they don't understand this?
Because it's so complicated for regular people to understand. This is why people like unorthodox say things like,
it's just counterintuitive because looks are deceiving.
They plot out, the FAA plots out the flights of aircrafts on a flat plane because it's easier than plotting it out on the actual globe that we live on. it's easier. They can't understand the flat plane we live on, the globe that we live on. So they teach pilots how to fly on a flat plane. That's how that goes.
You know,
Nah,
when you're
logic.
up there, pilots in the cockpit see hundreds of miles ahead of them. What?
Yep.
Cities that are 200
not
miles away, and they
considering a
can
globe
not
or
even use
a
guidance
flat
and fly to
thing.
what they can see. You know,
They're
and fly
just following
visually.
the map. That's it. They don't care what the shape is. They're just following the map. They're looking at their instruments, and as long as everything is as it should be according to their instructions, they'll be fine. They don't care what the shape of the Earth is. They don't care. It's that simple.
Well, you're
It's
supposed
funny, though,
to
that
see
the ones that
about
do
100, 200 feet.
always say it's flat.
Miles in front of you.
Say that again. Is that Giordano?
No, I was just saying that you're supposed to see about 100, 200 feet in front of you, depending on how high you're flying.
100 feet.
I'm pretty sure you can see a little bit further than that.
Right.
Unless you're
miles?
flying through a cloud.
I didn't give him a hard time. Did you mean miles?
Yeah, I said feet and I said miles, and I guess I went back to feet. But yeah, miles is what I meant.
No worries.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
What's your point, though?
It all
someone had
depends
said
on the
like
height.
you can fly super high, you can see all these miles in front of you. Like, yeah, well, you're supposed to, according to the curvature calculator.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Actually,
matter
according to the
because
real world,
you're going to see
the
that
calculator
anyway
is
on a flat
just
plane
trash.
as well. Because that is what you get to see. Doesn't mean it's not a globe, but that is what it looks like. So you have to get over that. It just looks flat. It will
Get over
always
it,
be
man.
visually flat. Might be a globe, but it doesn't look that way. You just have to get that through your skull.
No, I've always known that. It might be a globe, but it
Yeah, I
looks
know you've
flat to
always
us,
known
and so
that,
some
but you
people think
keep
it's
trying
flat.
to find the
It does look
curvature to
flat.
calculate it. It's no use. You can't use photography. You can't use visuals to prove the globe because of looming. It will never
could I just jump in there?
visually be there. I don't understand why you keep pursuing this constantly. It is
No, I wasn't trying to prove the
childish.
globe. I was just correct.
You
Somebody
should
had
know better.
brought it up that you can see this farm. Like, that's no
Giordano.
problem on a globe.
Giordano.
You
believe
love
that
talking
NASA
about the
pictures-
globe, but you're trying to do something that is technically in vain. Because
No,
it will never
no,
be visually there. It's always looming.
Sure.
It will always appear to be a flat plane. So why do you keep trying to find that curvature there?
So
It's like chasing
somebody
dragons.
had brought that up.
You will
I
never
was just
see
saying
it.
that
It
works
can
on
never
both
be
planes.
there. It's always visually flat. So why do you keep trying this?
I'm not trying to find curve the way you guys are. There's other ways to,
Oh,
to
you're
measure a curve.
definitely trying to do that.
Because you
You're using
believe the curve's
curvature
already
calculator,
there. That's
you're
the
observing
problem.
pictures and then saying, "Oh, look, see, it is curving. It's curving." No,
I don't do that.
it's not.
I've never
It
done
can
that.
never look. You can never see it. You can never see the curve because it's looming. It's no
You're
use.
done.
You're right.
All
You're
these
right.
optical
That's why you
effects that
measure it
look kind of
differently than that.
curve-alike are not curvature, because you will never see the curvature because it's all looming. Why don't you get this?
I'm
Yeah, but why do
agreeing
you
with you. Can
try?
you hear me?
Why do you keep trying when you know it's all looming?
Can you hear me, or can you not hear me? Because I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
can
said
hear you.
I haven't said that at all. I haven't said that you could see the curve. I haven't said I'm trying to find the curve. I haven't said anything like
You
that.
don't see that.
How
you
are
don't
you
see
trying
that
to
as a
find
It's
it?
hard to see.
By looking
You
at
don't
it?
see that as a
It's
problem?
not going to work. You're not going to find the curve by looking at pictures and
I never
look
said that. I've
out
still
of your
never
eyes
said that.
because you can never see it because it's all looming into a flat plane visually.
Can
So
I
you
ask
could
can you
never
hear me?
find it with your eyes. You can only calculate it.
Okay, can you hear what I'm saying? Because I have never said that. I've never said it at all. I've only said that you
No,
can measure. You
no,
gotta use
but
other
you should be
devices to measure.
saying that because that is the truth according to the globe system. That is how
Yeah,
it
that you
works.
can't see it. I haven't said. Yeah, but I haven't even said that. So I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, that's fine.
So what is your position then,
Then
Golden
why
Oak?
do you keep going?
Sorry. Hold on,
trying
Owen.
to
Hold on.
curve?
He's now saying you can't see a curve. So again, you're defying the calculator that says you can see a curve.
No, it depends on what you meant. Okay, so if people sometimes talk about the curve as going from like left to right or something like that, I'm saying you can't see a curve that way. But there's other ways to measure a curve, and one, like you were saying, using the curve calculator to see where your horizon would be and what would be beyond the horizon and how how far down it would be going.
But
There's
the
other ways to
curve
measure that. That
calculator.
would be another.
Sorry, but the curve calculator only tells you where there is
Hold on,
actually
one at a
curve.
time.
You can never see it.
Arwen, you've got to give other people a chance. Come on.
All right.
Yeah. I'm just answering the specific questions you guys have all asked. So Nathan asked me a different question. He asked me about the curve calculator. And that's why I was saying that's different than what Arwen was saying, which is just visually seeing a curve, which, you know, it's hard to just do that. You have to use outside, you have to use other measurements.
Okay, but Giordano,
it'll only tell you where it actually is, not where you see it.
Come on. You've got to let other people speak. There's like 14 people on the panel.
I'm trying to get across my point.
If you can see the curve. The question wasn't if you can calculate the curve. Can you see the curve? Can you detect it with your eyes?
I said that. I said no. You will not be able to see a curve just on its own, like people say sometimes the curve of the side of the world, left to right. No, that's not something you see.
That's not a problem for you.
Then why do you defend this fantasy about it's curving everywhere if we cannot detect the curve?
Oh, have you heard me say that? Have you heard me say it's curving everywhere and you can see it from left to right? I've never said that. No one's ever said that.
If we live in a globe, in a ball, it should be curving.
Hang on a minute, that's not true. That isn't true. You just said nobody's ever said that.
We believe it is flat because it looks
flat. Hang on. Wait, hang on a second.
You believe it's a globe.
You just said that nobody's ever said that you can't. Nobody's ever said that you can see curve left to right. That's not true.
Yeah, it depends on your altitude. If you have
raise
your altitude, then you can.
No, Metabunk says that you can measure the curve left to right in a variety of ways. Have you not seen the advanced tab?
Well, no, like I said, measuring it is different than I'm talking about visually seeing it. But
you've got to see it to measure it.
There may be ways to do that.
You've got to see it to measure it, you idiot.
No, but even you had corrected it and said that we're not talking about measuring it. We're talking about just seeing it. It's like you guys keep going back and forth.
Nathan, that isn't correct. You don't have to see it to measure it. You have to put a ruler next to it.
Hold on, there's 5 people talking. The two are intrinsically linked. In order to measure something, you've got to see it.
No, that's wrong.
You're right.
That's not true.
I said that. I said that you can measure it from ground level.
You don't have to see it. But
then somebody had asked me specifically just about seeing it, not measuring it.
Go ahead, Goldemo. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that somebody had asked specifically after I'd answered that question that you could measure it from down here. Somebody asked specifically. They're not talking about measuring. They said they're talking about just seeing it visually, just looking and seeing it. I'm saying that's a little bit more difficult without the tools.
So for example, the wind turbines, we can see them. And the calculations that we can extrapolate from their positions means we can measure them, but we don't see any curve in them.
Well, I posted pictures. I don't know if it's still in this box, but it shows you the kind of same phenomena at different angles. And some of those angles, like I said, those lines, the perceivable difference is not really much. Like if you could draw a straight line and imagine it was going through it, whereas in his program, it's going to be going from from turbine to turbine, and so you're going to be able to tell that it's not a straight line. Well, if you were to actually just draw a straight line through it, you could do that and you wouldn't be able to tell that it wasn't actually hitting the exact spot on each one, just because it's such a small difference.
You realize Ranty is using real life observations, no computer programs, right?
Darwin, Chocolate's talking, man. Come on. Go on, Chocolate.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to correct.
That was Jose, I think.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Go ahead, Jose.
I was trying to talk.
Yeah, Ranty is using real life observations. We're not using computer programs. I mean, he's not, and Anthony Riley is not. And then you guys want to compare with computer programs. It's totally different. Go out there, look at it, analyze it, compare, you know?
No, I agree. I had, before anyone showed any computer program, I was explaining on why it would seem perceivably like a straight line, even though it's not. Technically, it's not a straight line.
So if it's not a straight line, you should be able to measure a curve in it then, correct?
Well, you'd have to use something pretty precise to measure a curve there, yeah.
Well, you can get in really close to it and examine how close, but there should be a curve there, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, Anthony, have you got that picture to hand? Can you bring it up? We'll get as close in as this guy likes, and we'll see how much curve there is.
Which picture?
Yeah, you're gonna need to get a thinner line than the one that was drawn.
Which picture?
Picture of the
turbines. I mean the x-axis one.
This guy's saying that there should be curvature there, and I agree. If they're built on a curve, they should be curving.
Yeah, and there should be quite a lot of curve at 20 miles, right?
Well, no, in between each of those posts, let me calculate the percentage.
No, we did this on the first show. We're 20 miles away, and I'm not interested in how much curve you say there should be between them when there is an accumulation of curve between the observation and the turbines. That's why there's a difference. We had this modelled on the last show. There was a distinct difference, not demonstrated in the picture.
Nathan, but you'll never see it.
Hang on, wait. The question is, if you're saying that the curve is imperceivable, why is it that everybody accepts Soundly's proof of the curve of the Earth, but this is argued within half a pixel?
Because they're idiots.
What?
Yeah, I think that's probably
and they want to see that curve. They want to see it with their eyes, and they can't because you can only calculate it.
Imperceivable, right? So you can't have it both ways. It's either imperceivable and this is wrong, or it's imperceivable and this is right, and we don't know.
It's imperceivable by the picture that you have there and the lines that you're drawing. You could draw a seemingly straight line and not be able to tell that there's an actual curve. Right. I'm looking at the difference.
All pictures, all observations, all of them. You can't see curvature in any of them.
5, 6, 7. We see 8 turbines. So we can pick one.
You've got the hangout up, Anthony. 3. Anthony, you're presenting the wrong thing.
Oh, I'm not presenting anything.
You're presenting the wrong thing. You're presenting my screen or the... I don't know what you're presenting.
The Isle of Man picture.
Yeah, whatever I've got.
Well, I could tell you what you'd be looking for. You'd be looking for about 1 in 1,000th of a difference between the turbines and the height of the turbines.
So can you tell me why it is that on... Oops. Let me get back to that, and then let me get back to that. So why is the perception of curvature in this picture of Soundly's, but you're saying it's imperceivable? But,
no, it's not imperceivable. You can certainly measure.
But that is not curvature. That is atmospheric distortion.
You said you would you wouldn't see it, but it would be a curve, right?
Yeah. No, I was just strictly talking about the horizon and the curve on the horizon. But you can measure the horizon at ground level.
So let me ask you, why is it the case that in Soundly's picture, right, we see that there's 8 turbines here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you pick any 8 of these turbines, any 8 of these pylons, we see that there is a pronounced curve. So any 8, doesn't matter. We can go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, these are 2 different pictures, and they have 2 distinctly different properties. As in this one's almost next to it, parallel, looking straight down it, and the other one's further away, looking at it almost. It's still at an angle, but it's still almost going left to right.
Hold on, go back hold on 1 second, Anthony. Can you just go back to Soundly's picture? So, would you agree that the amount of curvature that you see in this picture increases as you get further away in the distance? Would you agree that the curve is more pronounced, as the calculator would suggest, the further away you get?
Yeah, so, there you see first the bulge, and then you see the...
So therefore, you would expect there to be, over the... Given that this, in the near foreground, is only a short distance, and the picture that Anthony's about to put up is quite a considerable difference, wouldn't you expect there to be a more pronounced curve?
Well, there's seemingly longer distance. There's longer distance between you and them, but it's not a longer distance of the actual line of turbines that you're seeing, because each one is only about 2.5 miles.
But would you agree, though, that the maximum distance on Soundly's observation is 18 miles, right? That's by his own volition, it's 18 miles. So that's where the pylon is in the back. So anywhere that's not the pylon in the background is not 18 miles, it's less, right? So it doesn't really matter what value we give it, but we can see that there is supposed to be a curve, right? So it doesn't really matter what value we pick here, we see a curve. But in this one, we don't seem to see any curve. And you're saying it's totally down to the angle of observation?
Yeah, well, 2 things is, one is, what's the distance between the back one and the one at the other end if you were to be looking at it straight down? So I know that each row...
We're looking at it from 20 miles. I don't know how many times I've got to say this to you. We're not looking at it from the first to the last. This is taken from 20 miles away.
No. That's the problem. That's why I'm saying that...
It's not a problem. That anybody can do it if they've got a camera. It's a problem for you because there should be exponentially more curve at the end of this image, like we've got in the back of Soundly's image. This is what we're talking about. This is at 18 miles, yeah? This section with more curve is what we should be seeing in those turbines. That amount of curve, because they're further. We should see more, because they're further, but we don't see any. None. It's linear.
That's it.
None.
This is the back one, the front one.
Milo, he's tricking you.
Yeah.
This is not curvature. This is an optical phenomena. It's not curvature. Don't
They tell
fall
us it's
for
curve.
it.
They tell us it's curve, right?
It's wrong. It's
This
not
is
curve.
genius.
Yeah, we
This
say
is
it's wrong,
beautiful.
Arwin.
I like the comparison.
Hold on, I've
I
got to
like
get this through
seeing
to Arwin.
these two.
Arwin, we're using their evidence against them, so we are not claiming this is curve, Arwin.
Yeah, of course it's not curve.
Well, we know that. We're using their evidence against them, mate.
Yeah, but I'm trying to help him out by...
No, it's
just
fine, Arwin.
he
I
wants
think
to
that
see that curvature.
you guys
You want to
aren't
see
admitting,
it so bad.
you guys aren't
It's
admitting
not,
that you're looking
you
at two
can't
completely
see
different
it.
angles.
You can never see the curvature, Milo. You can never, ever see it with your eyes, ever.
Let me ask you a
Okay?
question
You
then,
have to-
Arwin, or
you
anyone who
have
wants to
to
answer me, is if
Consolidate
you were
yourself. You have to stop wanting to see that curve because
Okay,
it
I don't
is
want to see the
optically
curvature. I'm telling you that we're not
impossible.
looking at the
You
same types of
can't see
pictures.
it. This
because we're
is
not.
a visual
Arwin,
phenomenon.
you're now
It's not
rumpusing the hangout, saying you can't see the curve over and over again.
Arwin is mad hype right now.
Sorry, it's just
So what you're saying is this is
We
just a
get
round
it,
eye
all right, all right.
Globers are just mistaken. They just constantly want to see that curvature. They want to grasp it.
Alright.
They want to feel it, but
That's
you can't.
honest. That's
because
a
it is
Arwin.
fantastic
That's
theory,
it. Let's
Arwin.
shut Arwin up for a bit.
But that's if we were looking at the same type of picture, we could be talking about the same thing. One is you're looking at 18 miles down the path of a 18 miles worth of towers. The other one is you're looking at something that's 22 miles in the distance at the furthest. And then if you were to actually take the distance from each one, like I said, it's only about 2.4 miles each.
Yeah, and
So
I don't know
you're
how
not
many
getting the
times
same
I've got to
thing.
say to you, how many times do I have to say that it's not the individual isolated section of turbines? You want to do the calculation based on it being 2 miles long, but that's not how the maths works. You take the accumulated value of the drop for you and all the distance of curvature between you and the target, making the end drop value bigger. And there should be a difference between the two. And it should be considerably larger than we see in 18 miles. So where we see in your claimed curvature, not what we think it's nonsense, Arwin. So not in our claimed, your claimed curvature video, you see that the curve gets far more curvy towards the centre point of what is claimed to be 18-mile observation. Well, we've got a 20-mile observation. We see none of that. And you're just saying, well, the viewing angle's wrong. Well, we can't change anything in the calculations we are given for Earth curve in terms of the angle of observation. It makes sod all difference. You just have the distance to target. That's it.
Giordano, do you understand what he just said? Do you understand what he just said?
What was the picture again with the turbines?
Giordano.
Yeah.
Do you understand what Nathan just said to you?
Yeah, I understand what he's saying, but I don't think he understands what I'm saying, which is that there are two different types of pictures. I understand that the total difference is 20 miles away. And that's the furthest, that's where the furthest turbine is. But
no,
that angle,
no,
like if you notice, it actually is perceivably lower, just the same way the other one is in the other picture.
What he's trying to
you're incorrect.
If there is something at 18
it's not lower,
miles,
it's not hidden by the horizon.
It's curved. Listen, if there's something at 18 miles and it's curved, you can see that, right? Townley's picture, it's curved.
That's not 18 miles,
curved, right?
That's not 18 miles.
16, what is it?
Sorry.
It's 15.9 miles, but you can only see up to the horizon, which is 7. The total to the back tall tower in Sam Lee's video is 15.9 miles. The last turbine that we're looking at in these photos is 23.6 miles.
Okay.
Can you put that photo back up? Whoever has it?
Giordano. What, based on what John just said?
Because I'm going to show you something, but you guys don't want to see it.
Asking you something.
Yeah. Based on what John just said, you don't think that at 23 miles we should see more curvature than we see at 15 miles? Like basic
Not
question. I don't want to. I don't want you to tell me
perpendicular
about
to that.
angles. I don't just a
Don't
basic
fall
question.
for it, Milo. Don't fall for it. You can't
Yeah,
see.
that's what I'm saying. You guys are measuring two different angles. So yeah, you are gonna see it going, forward, and you are seeing it going forward. You're not gonna see it going perpendicular to that direction. So if you put that picture back up, you're gonna notice that that last turbine is a lot lower than all the other ones.
No.
You need to show a non-linear linear line on that second row of turbines.
You don't need to do anything,
Milo. I don't know who's got the picture up there. I don't have it saved.
Oh,
Sorry.
who is it?
Hold on, Goldemo. Did you understand what's required?
Yeah, he says he wants a non-linear line on that level. Like I said, the only
No,
problem is we're talking about
non-linear
two different
linear line on the last set of turbines, because you've got on your spinning ball religion, you have non-linear. It's a squared function, right?
Yeah, it's not a religion. The religion would be believing it's flat and everyone's lying, and that there's a ball.
I don't believe it's flat. I know it's flat, and we're going to deal with that here in the next couple days.
That's a religion. Saying it's flat is the religion. Me just suggesting something and how to see something differently is not a religion.
No. Religion is belief without evidence. I have
guys,
evidence.
No. I don't care.
I know. We know it's flat. You know it's a ball.
Owen, why have you got the rumpus on constantly saying it's just flat, we can't see curve? I don't get it. What's wrong with you?
Because that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, but you keep saying it ad nausea over everyone.
You keep saying your arguments ad nausea. You have been for weeks now. I'm just trying to change the angle here. I'm trying to help them out.
Okay, let's
help
get
them
back
out
on track.
by telling them that they can't see it.
Okay, fine. We can't see it. What we can see is a linear line on those turbines. Yeah?
Exactly.
Right. So, these guys who've got a calculation that says it should be non-linear, a squared function, need to provide us with some sort of proof that you can have a squared function on a linear line. How do they do this? Goldemo, over to you.
Yeah, I posted a bunch of pictures for you guys. Nobody cared to look, but they're all in the chat. And
present them.
Some of them, depending on the angle, you'll see some of them look more curved than others, and some of them they look more straight.
If you want us to see something, it's the second time you've said it. Just present it, and I'll click on your screen.
I put them in the chat a while ago.
Are you deaf?
You all know a while ago.
Are you deaf? Listen. Present it, not put it in chat. Put it on your screen and present it.
You guys were talking before, so I didn't have a chance to.
Did you hear what I just said to you?
Yes, I did, but I need you to give me a second. I'm on my phone, so I have to figure out how to do the screen chat.
Nath, is it okay if I make a short presentation to the Globers that are on the panel with regards to Pontchartrain?
Yes, please, God, do.
Let me know when we're there.
You're on.
You've been promoted to God, Riley.
This is just for the Globers.
Owen, at least you've got comedy on your side. At least you can still make me laugh.
So, gents, just for the ballers, no flat earthers. I've took a screenshot from this picture of Soundless, okay? And I've put it into Paint, and you can see that on the right-hand side. And I've drawn a line over this gloopy stuff. If your position is that this shows the curvature of the Earth over 18 miles, is it, or 16 miles, then I ask you that if we were able to reproduce this bending over effect, you can see that it lips back under itself. If we were able to reproduce this on a flat plane, would you concede that this may be optical and not curvature after all?
If you were able to reproduce it on a flat plane, and would I say that could be both? I mean, I'd have to, yeah. I'd have to say that, okay, well, this is possible on both. Someone showed me that, then. So,
courtesy of Phuket Word, his video that's called Seeing Imaginary Curvature on Flat Earth. What he does is he gets on a road that is basically the top of a dam, and we know that water's level, right? Over short distances, water's level. So the water on the dam, which is on the left-hand side, is flat. It's level. However, when he drops his elevation, you can see that the horizon, he zooms into it in a sec, so be patient. You can see that the horizon does exactly the same as what it shows on the left-hand side picture, but only when he zooms in, which is what Stanley's got to do to show the curve. So can you see right now that the Armco barrier, either side, is bending back in on itself, on a flat plane, which is exactly the same effect we see here, but you accept that it's curvature because Soundly tells you it is. But what about Nick that shows that he can reproduce it on a flat plane?
Yeah, I don't know who Soundly is. But
you accepted before that Soundly shows the curvature of the Earth, right?
No, I accepted that when you showed me that picture that it showed the curvature of the Earth, and then I told you that if you showed me something that showed otherwise, I'd say otherwise. Let's see. So you're saying that this is the same?
Watch
phenomenon?
what happens. Watch what happens. He raises his elevation, but notice the characteristics. It lips back under itself, and the horizon appears to be lower than where you'd expect it to be. Because obviously we don't live on a boomerang. This thing can't bend back on itself. But we see the bending back on itself in the picture. But watch what happens when he changes his elevation relative to the horizon that's lower. You'll watch that the lower horizon rises and then becomes normal, proving it's an optical effect. Watch. Any minute now. When you're ready, Nick, come on. I think he's talking in this particular section of the video, but he does raise up in a sec. And when he does, you'll see that the horizon, watch the horizon. The apparent horizon raises before your very eyes. Oh, come on. I might have got the wrong part of the video here, but I hope he does it.
This road is level, like it's not curving down.
Yeah, it's flat. Please tell me I've not got it wrong. Yeah, he's about to do it. So his point, whilst he's talking now, he's trying to show that the horizon is lower than what it actually is in real world. Why? Who knows? Point is, there's no curve here. It's a flat road on top of flat water over a short distance that we all accept as flat. Come on, Nick.
And what's that that he's looking at down there?
It's just you'll see it in a sec. It's just a continuation of the. Oh, no way. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry, I had the wrong part of the clip. Right, so it starts from here. Here we go. Now, watch what happens as he drops. Watch where the horizon is now, and watch where the horizon becomes after he drops his elevation. Now he's going down. The horizon literally changes before your very eyes. And now we see the bending back of the Armco barrier, which makes it lip back on itself, exactly as we see in the picture. Notice how it's shimmering, the way that Soundly's also shimmers, which was the reason why Sly kicked me from the hangout as well, coincidentally. And now as he raises his elevation, the horizon restores back to where it should be pretty much. We're recreating Soundly's observation, but on a flat road over a short distance, just by changing elevation. It's exactly the same effect.
You'd have to look at those light posts too to see if it was curving down like that. Because I do see like there's
I'm not. The point I'm making is that these things lip back underneath each other, and the horizon changes relatively in front of your eyes based on your elevation. Now, I'm not talking about the tops. I'm just talking about this effect of it lipping back under itself, and it can be recreated with a flat road.
Yeah, kind of, except for those on the flat road, they're not curving like the one in the other picture is curving.
They're curving exactly the same.
There's no curves anymore.
Let me make it bigger for you. Perhaps you can't see it as clear as what I think you can. Do you agree now that lifting back under itself and the lower than normal horizon is exactly the same as what Soundly shows in the slide that I took from his picture? Lipping back under itself.
Like I said, when you put them side by side, it becomes apparent that it's not doing the same thing. Like one does look like a obvious curve.
All right, let's put it side by side and let's see if is your claim true. So snipping tool. And I challenge you to tell me
like knives, like straight, you know.
I challenge you to tell me the difference between the two.
Sorry, just snip the right hand one, so it's got it's coming from the right with Soundly. So just have one like Soundly's got.
Okay.
There you go.
Where's it gone? There we go. Wait, it's bigger. I challenge you to tell me the difference between the observations.
Okay. One looks like a knife, like you could stab somebody with it. The other one looks like I don't want to say, but it looks obviously curved. I mean,
so you
it's
would
obvious.
you would contrast these rather than compare them?
No, I mean I am comparing them. And
no, you're not. You're
one looks
contrasting.
more
You're saying
curved,
one
and
looks
then
like a
one looks
knife.
straight.
You're saying that one looks like a knife, and you're saying the
Yes.
other one
like a like it's a straight knife.
Yeah, so
like
you're
you could stab
contrasting them.
somebody
You're not comparing them, right?
No, I'm describing how one looks straight and the other one looks like it's curved.
Yeah, but you.
But I do see what you're saying about the part where it looms under it and all that.
Do you? So you are contrasting. You're not comparing, right?
Oh, you want me to make comparisons?
No,
they're both using poles.
I'm asking you, would you compare or would you contrast these two images?
Yeah, they look different to me.
Really?
Yeah, one looks straight and one looks like it's curving.
There's no help for you then.
I mean, do you think that one looks like it's curving? The one that you just showed me.
I think that the exact phenomena that we see at the horizon that Soundly has in his work is the same phenomenon on a flat road.
It looks like it's curving.
Hold on one second, Anthony. Can you just get whatever troll's kicking everybody out the back chat?
Oh. Sorry, I forgot Arwin wasn't in. I might not have time. I don't know who it is that's doing it either.
Yeah, I'm still sniped in there.
Crisscross, isn't it? Right, I've removed him. Whether I've got everybody still, I mean, however many people are left, I don't know. Might want to start a new one up, Nath.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. But then again, we'll just have to deal with all those trolls. I mean, anybody who hasn't joined to date can still join because they haven't been removed by a troll. So I'm happy for it to carry on this hangout. We've still got plenty of guests. There's 4 people on Skype. There's 5 people in the hangout. 6 people in the hangout. Shout out to Joseph. Hey, Richard. How you doing? Hear us?
Hello.
Good to have you.
Hello.
Good to have you.
Giordano.
Fish, can you hear us?
Carry on. It's me, Jose. It's me.
Oh, good to have you.
Hi. I'm back. I got sniped.
I think Nate, it's probably better if I get this side of it, copy it.
Is that Ranty?
And then when I put...
Hold on. Is that you, Ranty? Is that you, Ranty?
It is. Hooray! I'm eating my Sunday dinner as well, so I just thought I'd nip in and just placehold for a time.
Okay, cool.
Sunday dinner.
Yum. Okay, so you carry on with your point. We've got no Goldemo. I think he's been sniped, but now it's nice and big, and you've got it up on your screen. I don't know if you can make this image bigger.
Well, what I'm hoping of doing is flipping it. I don't know whether I can do it in this. Flip horizontal. So that's now the opposite side, but it's made to compare. Now, what he was saying is it's more knife-edged. Okay, well, that's just because I picked the other side for Nathan. Go with the opposite side that's been flipped. So again, I asked the question, do you compare or do you contrast?
Don't fall for it. It's just an optical phenomena. You can't see curvature. You can never see it.
Is he here, the guy, or is he gone?
I think he's been sniped. Hi, Mark.
Oh.
Can you hear us? Hello, Mark.
Mark?
I got to make on those pictures.
Howdy.
Hello. Is that you, Goldemo?
Are you asking?
Yes, it is. Good to have you.
Yes, thank you.
So go ahead, Anthony. You can carry on your conversation now. He's back.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
All right, so let me reshare then.
Get a couple more guests, the sniping will stop. Please join. Click the link in the info box.
Even if it's just a placehold. Oh, we got a full panel now?
Not quite.
So we just need one more, so I better keep it open just in case.
Ruins the pace when we get trolled, but there we go. Such is life. My apologies to the audience.
That's the downside of having an open panel and not having a circle jerk. And a fucking Brainiac.
Yeah, man. I'm cool. I'm holding the place or whatever.
Thank you.
Cool, man.
Much obliged.
Right, so.
Sure. What's up,
all of
Brainiac?
I've took.
We can hear you. Go ahead, Chocolate. Did you want to say something?
No, I was just saying what's up to Brainiac.
Oh, okay. Cool.
How's it going, Chocolate Man? Good seeing you again, man.
Right. All right, go ahead, buddy.
So who was it I was arguing with before? Is he here?
No, yeah, I think we were talking about the two shapes.
Sure. So basically, my question is, do you compare or contrast these? Because I would argue that these are identical, repeatable, observable, anybody can do it, and show that Soundleys is nothing more than optical, caused by change of elevation and angle. But you think it's the curve of the Earth, right?
Well, no, with the phenomena that's making it do that thing where it looms underneath it. Looks like it's happening to both, but the only difference is one does look like it's straight, and the other one doesn't look like it's straight.
So if I was to get a straight line and draw a straight line here, make it a thin one.
Yeah, it would be far straighter than the other one. But then the other side of that bridge too, it had an even straighter one, but still they would both be straighter than this one.
Suppose we give you that. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we'll give you that one's straight, one's curved. Would you agree that because we can replicate? I'm trying to get back to Soundless window. Where is it gone? Bear with me while I try and find it. I've got too many windows open. Where is he? He must be in one of these links somewhere, mustn't he? There we go. Would you agree that this bit at the end that everybody seems to think's curvature, would you agree that that bit can be chopped off and we've just got to discuss about this apparent curvature here?
I'm sorry, can you just explain that again?
Sure. Let me get the snipping tool. I'll do it. I'll just snip this out here and then copy it. Oops. And then we'll go back to Paint. Would you agree that if we can replicate that observation, that part of the observation, with regards to this part of it here, we can get rid of? Would you agree? We're left with this bit. Yeah.
Why would you be doing this? I don't understand.
Well, you said before.
Just to see if that's straight.
Yeah, well, I've just replicated, or I've just shown you that we can replicate what happens at the horizon part. And if you're prepared to give way on that, I'd ask you, how straight is that bit when it's not towards the horizon? Look how straight it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll give you that the last two are bending away, but that could be the parameters of the opticalness in terms of like here. So we're like, perhaps, where do we go with it? But these are all as straight as what was on the previous one. So when we go back to there, perhaps that straightness is simply the same as the straightness that we see here. So again, my question is this optical or is it the curvature of the Earth?
I would want to say definitively which one it is, because it does look like that one's curving more than the other one.
Come on, just put a straight line over it.
It's optical.
Yeah, but the straight line didn't even go in a complete straight line, and it was like some things were distorted and stuff.
Well, I've got the straight line
very
in now,
far
right?
away.
One picture is taken above, and the other picture is taken closer to the surface. That's what's causing that.
Sure, but because one Soundless is obviously a bit higher, if we get rid of the bit that we can replicate, we're left with the bit that we can't replicate because you said it was curved. But when you put a straight line through it, it appears to be straight.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like it would be relatively straight anyhow, because that's the part before the horizon.
Therefore, Soundless work doesn't prove curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, but if you do the same thing to the part on the other side of the horizon, it does curve a lot more. The part going up to the horizon, it's more or less going in a straightish path.
So this can't therefore be curvature then.
What can't?
You can't have it straight here, but then curving over there because
it's not entirely straight, but it is straighter than behind the horizon.
Behind the horizon?
Yeah, like if you were to do the same thing on the part that was past the horizon, where things are like curving downwards.
You mean there? Yeah. I thought we established that was optical and that we could reproduce it on a flat plane, right? Is that not the position anymore?
No, we didn't agree on that. I told you that on the flat plane was more or less straight, whereas the one on this one was
curving. The flat plane
curving.
argument was here, was it not? you were arguing that on the flat plane it was to do with this bit. But I'm talking about the curve
hold
beyond
on,
the horizon
Anthony,
that you're talking about, right?
Anthony, hold on. Why are you being so slippery?
I'm trying to establish where the curve is in the picture of Soundly that everybody seems to accept.
Not you.
Yeah, I can't see the there. There it is. Yeah, so the curve seems to be beyond the horizon. Yeah.
Right, but we've just established that we can optically recreate that bit. So I drew this box to rule out the bit. I mean, you can wherever you put this, you can say, well, kind of there would be the area. I mean, I'll give you to there kind of thing, but I would say it's probably there because we can see that there's there's a change in angle about there, and we can recreate this by the Taboo Conspiracy video. But the rest of it appears to be straight. But your point was that bit appears to be straight, but it's no more bent than this bit. So it's like, well, are we not seeing the same thing? It's just that you accept one to be curved and the other actually it's straight.
Like I said, it's gonna be more or less straighter than beyond it, but we can find out that it's not straight, not perfectly straight if we measured it more perfectly. If you took that yellow line that you had and went from one corner to the one that's
we just demonstrated on the Phuket Word video that the horizon bit bends back on itself and it is optical, right? Your position was
that phenomena specifically is, but what it doesn't do is curve it.
Yeah, it does. We've just seen that. Did you not?
Well, in that video, in that picture, it was like I said, like a knife, like a sharp.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. So what I'm saying is, there's a straight line that you said was straight, right? And you said on the other video, it's not straight, it's curved, right?
Right. Yeah, that's right. On that video was curved, and that one was straight.
So when I draw a line here and connect up all the corners, you can see that one and that one and that one and that one, these two appear to go up a little bit.
I can't see yours anymore.
They're dead straight. So my question is, at what point do we draw the bit that we can recreate? So maybe there, or I mean, maybe a bit smaller or maybe a bit bigger, but we can recreate the end bit because it lips back under itself. But you said that the knife was straighter on our one, but it's actually straight on Soundly's as well.
Over on this side of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, no, that's not the part I was talking about. We're talking about the part that was looming at the other side. But if you want to measure this side, you can go ahead and take that yellow line and try to get a perfect measurement to the end, to the corner and see how many, how many of those corners don't fit with that.
I think you're missing my point. What I'm saying is this is straight. The line is straight. And you said previously on this one that this line was straight. But what I'm trying to show you is that they're both straight.
No.
But you accept that Soundly shows curve.
Yeah. No, I know. Okay, Soundly is the one on the left. Yeah, it does show curve. That object that we're talking about, it's doing the same thing, the same phenomenon you're talking about where it curves underneath. The only difference is that this whole pillar, the whole thing itself is curving, whereas on the other one, it's just a straight line.
Nate, maybe I'm not making. Maybe you want to have a go at this because I'm not getting through. There's a straight line on the image of Soundly's, right? We've established at the end point, at some point, wherever this point is, we can recreate it. So you can vary it based on what you perceive. And you know,
you can take that. You can take that out of there because you can start with the yellow line and you'll start from the corner and you'll try to match each corner as far as you can go. It's not gonna work that way.
Well,
you can try to take the yellow corner.
That one's a little bit high. That might be a little bit of refraction, but that one it's. You know, this is straight as a die. The only one that's not straight is that one. I'll give you that. You can have that little bit of curve there, but the rest of it's dead straight.
I don't see where you are in these things because I can't see it on there we go. I have to go to the YouTube to see what you're doing.
Are you in the Hangout or are you on Skype?
No, I'm on the Hangouts, but it's not showing me yeah.
Am I getting this wrong?
Click the icon. Click Nathan's icon or Sleeping Waters icon.
I can't see either. Hold on.
So I've done all that there, and you've not been seeing what I've been doing.
No, I've been able to see it on the YouTube. I just it hasn't pulled up for me yet.
Well, there's no reason. I've got it set up so it's presenting to everyone locally. It doesn't just present my screen, so everyone else had it, right? Did everyone in the Hangout have that image?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yes, I was in the and on my phone too.
So everybody in the Hangout, literally everyone had it except Goldemo, apparently.
No, I see. No, I saw it from the YouTube. So
let me get this straight. On your mobile phone, you've got both the Hangout and YouTube running. How are you doing that?
No, I have the YouTube from the laptop.
Sorry, how have you got YouTube and a Hangout on a mobile device?
I just described the laptop.
He said he's got a laptop running on one and then he's got the phone on the other.
So when I asked you to screen share, your excuse that you were on a phone, you could have just joined on the laptop.
I was on my phone before. If you don't remember, something had kicked me out and I had to rejoin.
Okay, my bad.
No,
so, do we agree that Soundly's line
I actually do that.
Straight,
I have
it appears to be straight?
Running.
That his appears to be straight?
There's a line on screen, a yellow line on screen that's straight. Can you see the yellow line?
For a couple of those bars, but if you did the same thing on the other one, it would go all the way across, wouldn't it?
On the other one?
Yeah, on the whoever's the other one is.
I don't think it would. I think it probably starts to curve under.
The ones at the beginning are lower than the ones towards the end. We have one that sticks up a little bit higher, like Soundly's has got one that sticks up. But generally speaking, the ones that are towards the camera are lower than the ones that are in the background that are on the line. It appears to be the same.
I mean, like I said, this one seems like it's curving. That one doesn't. We can agree to disagree, but this one obviously looks like a straight. Like you can make a sword out of that.
I'm losing the will to live, man.
I mean, doesn't that look like a snake or something? This one looks like a straight line.
No, they're identical.
It's because of the level of elevation of the camera. With the bridge, the camera is literally on the asphalt. In the other picture, it is much higher.
I got my Photoshop ready to screen share a little something I did here.
I'll give way. I'm losing the will to live.
And then those lamps in the background, they're also not curving down.
I think it's more the, yeah, whatever.
Okay, you see me? I got my Photoshop presenting. All right, this is a quick drawing I did of Soundly's bendy bridge right here.
Hey, Fish.
Let's say this section is...
Fish, sorry, is that a black copy of Photoshop? I don't see a valid code in that one.
Right, I know, right? This is, let's say, this section is 20 to 25 miles away. A little something I did on Soundly. So we take two sections. We erase everything. We just leave two little sections of piles in here. We see this and we should see this because the invisible line, I mean, it should continue the same angle that was on Soundly's bridge. So it means we get a big curve in there, right? Now, tell me if I'm understanding. What Ranty captured is this, right? Which this is perspective on play. It's the same chunk of distance, 20 to 25 miles, but we don't see a curve. We see it perspective on play. We got a small angle, we see a small block. We get a bigger angle, we see a bigger block in here. Straight lines. Now, if we live in a curve, should we see something like this?
Yes.
I think so, but we don't see that. All we see, we don't see curved sections of pylons.
We should see something like that. No.
Chunks and blocks like this. Oh well, I mean, if this have been captured in a curve, this you should see. It's exactly the same. I just took two sections on the same distance, the same drawing.
I agree.
Right? Exactly. This is only. This is what you should see, but this is what we get because we live in a. Because what we see is two different size blocks on perspective, and that's my presentation. Thank you very much.
That's very nice, but I don't know. I do not think that you should be seeing that one that you showed, where it showed the objects almost like you're viewing them straight on, but it should appear curved in that way. No, you wouldn't see that because objects.
I have a live model that's
not going that way.
I have that live model that shows that you do see exactly what is shown on a 2D drawing.
Like I said, it depends on which angle you're looking at.
I can show you that it's almost every angle until you're literally dead on as a straight line in front, which everybody asserts, everybody agrees. If an object travels away from you, it might be hard to detect the curve, but once you're at an angle from that, the curve should be apparent, and it is apparent on 3D models. And it is apparent. Also apparent on his 2D drawing. Any which way that you try to draw a curve, you cannot draw it straight because you are in essence drawing a straight line. If you ever try to depict a curve as a straight line, you are literally just drawing flatness.
Can I just
you can't see the curve.
He says nobody questioned that wrinkly paper demonstration. Well, actually, I agree with it, so I'm not going to question it. I support it.
Yeah, so I had a like I said, a friend make me a model during the last show. I'm trying to show it, but it's because I had to rejoin and join again. Like I can't hear. I think someone's talking.
Anybody in the chat that's willing? Can
Okay,
somebody
I was going to show that you
Hold
could
on, Goldemo. Sorry, I'm trying to help you out. Hold on, I'm trying to help you out. So if somebody else who's in the Hangout is prepared to click on the link that Goldemo shared, we can then share that screen and the audience can see it.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat, anybody.
The link that you shared?
In the side chat, there should be a link.
No, I don't see one.
Goldemo?
There's a bunch of different pictures that I have put in there. I might have to
Are you on about the Google side chat?
No, I was on I was on the Hangouts one.
Yeah, Google Hangout he means.
Hang on, I can sort that.
It was a little while ago.
I can't screen share from my phone. I tried to find a loophole. I was looking for a little hack to do it. It's no way to screen share on cell phone.
No, bummer.
Okay. Let me see if I can send it.
Oh yeah, I do see. Is there 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures? Yeah.
Well, no, there's quite a few, so it's not going to be the last 4. It's going to be the ones all. So you might have to go back a little bit more, but it's before that. It's like a blue surface and a bunch of poles.
Yeah, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, and the because the person who made these for me, he wasn't part of the discussion, so there's a lot of different angles. But the very last one, that's probably the closest to the what do you call them, the turbines.
When you say closest to the turbines, do you mean it's the closest to matching his observation, or is it closest to the picture? It's closest to Ranty's picture.
Right. Because he did several different angles. He did one angle where it's looking straight on, one where it's looking like completely 90 degrees of that, like left to right. And then I asked him to make a couple different angles. So it's even though he did make the distances correct, it's just he didn't actually see the picture, I don't think. But I described it the way that.
Do you want to share my screen, Nath? So do you want to talk us through the image? Can you see the image?
Yes, let me see.
Does it match Ranty's? Really?
No. That's what. No, hang on. Let's not judge it. Let him talk it through.
Yeah, you had to look at the correct. So that's not the one I was talking about.
That's okay.
Really? Why might that be? Because it doesn't work.
No. I told you the very last one. It's one that's more of a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, and that was the last one. Watch.
There was like 4 or 5 of them.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. No, it's not showing. Okay, there we go. So there should be one. Oh, there you go. There you go. That last one.
Okay. So let's make this bigger. Do you want to talk us through this?
Yeah. So if you see, it's like if you were to draw the straight line. So right, even though this is made on the curve, the curve is there, and it's the same everywhere. It's the same everywhere. Like in all the different pictures, it's the same curvature, the same distances, and everything. There's just a different angle. Then you do see, and also the one thing he didn't do also is he didn't make the sizes different. So they're all the same size.
Now,
other than that,
we're having a problem here. I can't get a straight line. Hang on, let me just get rid of that.
You're not trying hard enough. Just make a straight line from the first one to the last one and see what the difference is with the other ones.
Yeah, but hang on, it's not a straight line, is it? Because you can see that the middle 3 arc over the straight line. We don't see that in Ranty's, right? We see a straight line.
Well, I would say to go back to the picture with
can you just address what he's just
turbines
said?
and try and
Hold
see
on,
how perfect
Goldemo. Please stop talking and address what he's actually just said to you.
I am. I'm saying if you want to see how precise the other picture is, I would make another line using a very thin line like this one on the turbines and see if it's as precise as this one is.
Yeah,
in this
so
picture,
on Ranty's picture,
hold on, Anthony. In this picture, you can see that it's curving. Go back to it, Anthony. The top. Here we go. Curve. in the rendered image on the left, isn't there?
You can see that the middle three are taller than the end two, right? That tells
yeah, like I said, he didn't make the what would you call it? He didn't make
yes
the back
or no?
ones taller.
You can see in the rendered image there is a curve, correct?
Well, in both of them, there was a curve. I mean, in this one, there's.
But why is there not a curve in these two, though?
You're saying, like, with the difference between these three poles that are in the middle? That's what I'm saying, is let's get super close into these turbines.
They look about the same size. Do you need to... Hold on, Anthony. Hold on. His objection is they're not the same size. Can you increase the size of the picture?
No. That's not my objection. I'm saying let's go ahead and try to get a precise look at these.
They're about the same size on the picture now. So we've got roughly the same scale. Yeah? I would agree.
Hold
on. Let's just get it from the audience. Would anybody in the audience object that these two look similar? Obviously, one's going to the left, one's going to the right.
That's not even what I just suggested.
One shows curve, and one shows no curve.
Yeah, so, Nathan, why don't you go ahead and we'll go ahead and go back to do what we were going to do. And
sorry, you still haven't accepted this. Why are you now fighting it? You have presented evidence.
That's not what I'm fighting. That's what I've been saying the whole time. That's what I said at the very beginning when you showed me that.
Stop talking. The one that you've presented to be comparable shows a curve.
It shows that the three in the middle are displaced. That's right. So let's go ahead and try to recreate the same thing on the other picture and see what happens.
Sorry, there is no curve on the actual picture. There isn't one.
Okay, so we zoom in and we make another line.
They're the same size. What do you mean zoom in? Hold on, Anthony. Zoom in on the rendered picture and make it much bigger so we can see this curve more obviously, please.
Created what we now see, because our top political, the FA is the oldest football association on the planet.
Talking in the background.
Somebody's got telly on or something.
Okay, so it's gone in closer and we can see the curve more.
Not in this one. I'm talking about in the turbine one.
Sorry.
Let's go to the turbine one and try and recreate the same thing we did. Where we start from the first one. And we make a line that goes precisely from...
Shut up! Stop talking! It's on screen.
Mm-hmm. Now can I talk? Just because that's all I'm doing.
There's no curve there.
No, so like I said, make a line that's...
No, don't tell him to do anything. There's no curve in this, a picture of the real world. And as we have suggested to you now on 3 shows, the rendered image on a globe shows curve. Because if it's curved,
you're showing that there's a difference in these ones. I'm trying to tell you that there's...
Yes, the difference between a flat Earth and a globe Earth. This one now shows that the Earth is flat. It's a picture. It's a picture of the world.
So if you notice
so this one shows it as flat. There's a straight line. Shut up. This one shows it as flat. There is a straight line. No curve.
Straight.
No, listen, you just said then you can see that a few of them don't go through the same point. Can you show me which few that you might be referring to?
Well, let's make another line starting from the bottom of the last turbine.
Let's deal with answer my question. You said that some of them don't go through the same point. So can you tell me which numbers don't go through the same point?
The third one, the fourth one, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you don't. So you think that this one, and this one are not going through the same point as that one?
Yeah, and we can test that by making a new line at the bottom, but trying to get it.
You can see it on screen.
No, okay. But you mean can I do it then? I have to save this picture because
tell me,
you just made it on the other one.
They all go.
What do you want to do in the bottom of the turbines, like where the water meets the turbines? Is that what you want to do?
Right below the black line, like where the bottom corner of those backside is. Just take that line and just meet it to the one at the end, to number 8, the same spot on it, and we'll see what the displacement is.
So would you agree that is that a fair line?
Straight.
Now, which ones would you say are not on the line?
Yeah, it's hard. They look pretty
flat,
pretty flush.
Right, now let's go back to the model of what it should look like according to your friend who has rendered it. Can you go back to that one, please, Anthony, and do the same thing?
So if we were to do, I don't know.
You don't even need to. It's already there. You can already see it.
I mean, yeah, maybe the same point. The point that it was at was a good one because
I can't really get the back. I mean, I could get the backside if you want. Do you want to, this point there?
No, I mean, like I said, those. I guess that's.
Yeah, if you can do it on the tops, Anthony, so it contrasts.
Well, I mean, that does the same thing where it's flush and you can't really tell. Like the same thing with the other picture. So you can do the same thing at the top.
Tell. No, you're lying. You can tell. You can clearly see that the ones in the middle.
Not on the bottom one. The bottom one, it actually does look flush now.
Sorry, the middle ones are raised up. They're curved.
I mean, it looks just as flush as the other one did. But
should we get the tops of them then?
Yeah, because you can see a contrasting line better. My bad. There you go. Can you see it against the contrasting line?
Yeah, there's got some.
A curve. Yeah, just say it. This one's curved. The other one isn't. Reality's not curved.
But like I said, it also wasn't like the perfect angle. But
sorry, you chose this picture. This is your picture.
Yeah.
So you're saying this isn't the right angle now?
Above the line.
This isn't the right angle? What the bloody hell are you talking about? Why is this picture that you provided the wrong angle?
Made this at a 45-degree angle or whatever angle it came up with.
If it's curved, I mean, it's curved. It doesn't matter what bloody angle you see it from. It does not account for any viewing angles in your calculator. It makes sod all difference. And as we asserted to you on the last show, if it's curved, it's curved. Here's you showing it from an angle. Doesn't matter what angle. And they're curved. Exactly as we asserted, exactly as the calculator says, and precisely what we don't see in reality.
Can you not see the difference?
Like I said, you do see a little difference if you made it.
Where? Do it. Show us. Where?
Whenever you made mine at the bottom line, it showed no difference. So maybe take away the bottom line and do it at the top instead.
Giordano, are you really this dense, man? Like,
yes.
Well, no. He had done the same thing for that picture.
Keeps on wanting to find that curve. You can never find it. You will never see it. I keep on telling you this, and you keep on falling back into your curve watching. Oh, it has to be there visually. No, you can never see it because it's all looming perfectly uniform into a
Here's
flat
what I'll do.
plane.
I'll get my
you have to get over it.
I'll get the model from him, and I'll find an angle that will appear straight.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to find an angle, haven't you?
Yeah,
but why is it that when we use your evidence, it doesn't support your opinion, your position? But
well, like I said, the person who made this wasn't even aware of the pictures that y'all have. So
yes, we couldn't fudge it to make it look flat, right?
Well, no, you knows how to find an angle. Yeah, this guy's flatter. Just shoot the camera, and he's there.
Each picture of the 5 pictures I showed you all have different. They're all gonna have different displacements if you were to make straight lines on them. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's not
our point. That's our point, not yours. They curve on your maths. They curve in your models. They curve because they are built on a curve. But in reality, they don't curve. They go in line with perspective.
Yes, correct. Okay. Because it's all looming exactly into a flat plane.
Send it to me. I'm just
Gio, will you at least concede? Gio, will you at least concede on the evidence that we've used, which was your evidence, that your turbines are showing curve, but our turbines in real world are flat? Will you at least concede?
Did you hear my explanation about that? Or you
no, I'm asking you, will you concede? Because you said you wanted to go back and get a new angle, and I've asked you, will you at least concede that on the real world photo it's straight, but on your presented evidence it isn't straight? Will you at least concede?
Yeah, I will tell you that that's not the same picture, and he didn't make it the same angle. So that's why I'm going to try to find the same angle.
Sure, but will you concede? Yeah, I'm asking you, will you concede that this shows curvature?
But that this picture is not showing the same thing? Yes, I will say this picture is not showing the same thing as that.
Don't find your angle and let's see whether it shows the same.
Hold on. What thing would that be?
This picture? This picture is not showing that these 3 or 5 levels or 5 pillars are the same level as in the other picture. It's perceived that they are. But is there a raw?
So to put it succinctly, hold on. To put it succinctly, the model of a curved Earth shows them curving. The reality of a picture, a photograph of the world, shows them not curving.
Yeah, and even more extremely, if you use a different of my picture.
I don't need any more opinions from you. I don't want to know about anything about extremities. We've got our concession. Your world model curves. The world we see is flat.
Would you mind?
Nathan's
that
right,
picture
because
that
you're
you have
not
there?
applying the looming because it is too complicated to calculate. So
No,
you're
I'm
just
not worried about
leaving
the
it
looming.
out.
I'm just worried. I'm
And
only
that
worried
way
about
it's
this
never
picture.
going to
I'm trying
fit
to
the
find.
reality. Because
Okay.
you have to have the formula to bend that ball into a flat plane, and you don't have it. It's too complicated.
Giordano.
I'm
Mankind
just asking
haven't
for
been
this
able
picture.
to
If
do
anybody
that
knows
yet.
where I can find it, if they can send it to me, put it in the chat. The
Giordano.
picture with the turbines.
Francis picture of turbines.
Uh-huh.
No problem. I can send you that in the Hangouts.
Because in that way I can try my best to model them.
Manipulate, you mean? Don't you mean manipulate? We've just demonstrated that.
No,
it's
no. I
straight.
want to accurately try and see if we can create the same
Oh,
picture.
right. Was I not accurate enough for you?
Well, no. My friend who didn't see this video, who made a model based off my description of it. No, it's not accurate enough.
Right.
Sorry, was it not
Does
an
he
accurate
apply
globe?
looming?
What was wrong with it? What was inaccurate about your friend's model?
Well, the sizes and the angle.
So your friend didn't model it very well,
why
then,
would
right?
you present that?
Well,
as
no, he
evidence?
just didn't have all the information.
Sorry,
He's
did you
pretty
not
good
know
at
how big the
modeling,
globe
actually.
was?
He did it offline. I appreciate him.
Did you not know how big the globe was? So had it have been in your
No, he did
favour,
the
you'd
globe.
have just said this was a
That
great
part
model.
of it he did correctly.
Sorry, had this have
It's
been a
just
great
the angle
model,
from where you're viewing it from.
so you're gonna basically hang your friend out to dry.
Yeah, he asked me.
No, he did a great
the point,
job, and I
mate.
appreciate him.
We didn't do a great job. He proved our point for us. So you can thank him from our position. Tell him, good job, mate. Your model confirmed our point beautifully. This guy said you couldn't see any curve, regardless of the fact that it's apparently built on a curve, but we can, according to your mate. Thanks very much, mate. You support Flat Earth beautifully.
Well, he did. These guys
It's
are
not
just
going to work
justice,
out
but
if
he's
you
like I said,
don't
he's good at these
apply a
models.
proper looming formula. You don't have one.
I'm sorry,
No,
was
I
that
don't
a
have a looming
scientific
formula.
model?
But where is the where's the
I'm sorry,
picture
was
you
that
said
a
you put in the
scientific
chat?
model?
No.
The picture
Oh, there we
you
go.
asked
Thank you
for
for
is in
that.
the
I
picture
see it.
you
I
asked
see it now.
for.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they weren't scientific models. None of them were scientific in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, I'll go back to sleep.
Mathematical model. It's never going to work out. You're never going to get the model right if you do not apply the looming effect that makes it all look flat, because that is what we observe. So you have to put that in there. And as long as you can't master the looming concept in your models, it's never going to work out because you don't see the curve. That's the whole point of it. Might be there, but it's all looming into a flat plane. And if you don't apply that in the mathematical model, you're never going to get it right.
Arwen, was that scientific model?
No, mathematical model.
Oh, okay. Good night.
But let me just conclude with the ranty video, right? If it's curved, that's got to be a curved line. And we see, by virtue of the fact that the line goes through all the hubs in the middle, we see that it's a straight line. And there can't be a straight line on a curve. It has to be a curve. So unless you can make a straight line curvy, the only thing that we can prove is perspective. You've got to prove that that curve is there. And obviously, in the absence of a curved line, the curve calculator must actually be calculating perspective the way Ranty claims it is. And I agree with Ranty. Ranty's right. You guys can't prove curve. You're proving perspective.
Perspective is relatively easy to model out. It's pretty straightforward. The looming concept, however, is very difficult. So, yeah, it's not going to work.
Well, if you keep ignoring the fact that these are all plumb to each other and vertical 90 degrees, you know, I mean, if they were on a curve, they would angle away from each other.
Sure.
There's no other way, and it's never being modeled. And it's obviously not seen in this photo because it's not there.
It's obviously not being
We're plumbed and set and installed.
Nathan, can I just
to
point
each
out
other
as
and
well?
plumbed to each other.
Hold on, let James make his point. Come on, Jimbo.
I'm sorry. I just, yeah, go on.
I'm okay. Just want to say
mind,
they should all be plumb, and they shouldn't be.
No, they should be. No, do you know the difference between the first one and the last one? It's like 0.03 of a degree or something like that.
Oh, is that when you're standing right? Is that when you're standing right next to it? Because there's an exponential effect, not exponential, a squared function that applies when you're looking at them from 20 miles. Mm-hmm.
What about that? What do you bring that up?
Yeah, we're not looking at them down the line from right next to them. What we're actually doing is looking at them from 20 miles plus. Therefore, there is a build-up of curvature. You can shut your mouth while I tell you again, because you didn't get it. Because you tried to get us right next to them again to tell us what the difference was, right? Yeah, we're looking at them from 20 miles away. Hello.
What does that have to do with the degrees, like he was saying?
Because we've got a build-up of curve between us and them. And when you see them on their curve, but with more curve between you and it seems like you've got even more curve. Because there's a build-up. Yeah? A cumulative curve, right? We're on a ball, aren't we?
We're gonna see
just
it.
all mutter and ratter. Yeah, we don't live on a ball. All we see is straight lines. No curve. You show me that curve, lads. Globe heads. Hello. Where's the curve?
That's me, Nathan. You know they can't show you it. It's not visibly. It's not visible.
Come on, guys. Where's the curve?
It's all looming. You
can show
can't
me in a
see
model. You've just shown it me, a comparative model, but then the mate was terrible at modelling. Maybe he didn't know how big Earth was, right? Hello, Goldemo. Anybody? Globe heads.
Say again.
What's wrong with the model? What's wrong with your mate's model? Did you not know the size of Earth?
No, he did a good job. He did a good job.
He did. He proved our point beautifully. In your model of world, you can have curves. Things curve in your world. They don't in reality, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? That's because the Earth's flat. We don't see any curve because there is no curve. 3 years I've been asking where's the curve. No one showed it me. And when they say these turbines are going behind the curve of the Earth, what do you know? They're falling in line perfectly with perspective. Linear.
And why are they being hidden by the water?
No
They're taller than the ones in
curve.
front of them.
Yeah, the reality showed no curve. Your model showed curve, because there should be curve. But there is no curve. You can show us on a model, though. Yeah? You can show us in the model that there's curve. Where's the curve in reality? Show it me.
Have you muted me, Nathan?
Kudos to your friend. Kudos to your friend, brother. Kudos to your friend. He did a good job modeling the globe model. He just doesn't match reality.
Tell him to work harder. Do better, because he's proving our point.
Yeah, but you haven't answered my question, Nathan. Why the one in the very back, the furthest away, is more than halfway hidden, and almost to the point where the turbines are touching the water, seemingly, whereas they're taller than the ones up in front.
Sorry,
perspective.
What does that have to do with them not curving?
Yeah, why are they being hidden almost halfway, more than halfway?
Perspective.
Or even just an optical effect caused by bending light of some kind.
Or that they're offset on, they're not actually fully in a straight line. And I've seen this effect on my modelling loads of times, that if you offset something, it will lower it against the straight line that it already was on.
I can cite the
I'm not sure the total height of the towers, but at 22 miles away, there's over 300 feet of the tower should be missing.
Yeah, that's another point. We forget about
see a lot more than would be missing from 300 feet of missing tower.
That's it.
Well, I don't know about that. He took away 200.
Sorry, that's okay. We can tell you. If you don't know about it, shut your mouth and we'll explain it in great detail. So shut up, Goldemo, because you're going to get a full explanation if you don't understand it.
Well, I mean, I do. You said 90 meters, I think you said?
What part of don't talk because someone's going to explain the thing you don't understand? Don't you get? Don't talk. Listen.
Yeah.
You said I don't know about that? Well, we got to tell you, mate. We're going to tell you.
I heard 90 meters. That's why.
Shut up. You said I don't know about that. We're going to tell you.
Visual
If
phenomena
Arwin could shut up, but he won't. Arwin will just talk over me now. I've got you to shut up.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll tell you. You don't know about it. We're going to tell you, though. Well, I hope someone will, because I haven't got any information.
I will.
Can I explain it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Where he's mistaken? Yeah? Because the visual phenomena, including the narrowing down of the field of view when you're very close to a flat surface or a looming curved surface, this applies to everything. That'll make it appear like there could be some kind of curve. But this is just an optical phenomena, because it's not uniform. You can't see the curve. You can never see the curve.
Fair enough. Jimbo, you were pointing out that the hidden value is way off. Don't know if you want to make your point again before it's
300
lost.
The very far ones are 22 miles away. There's over 300 feet of hidden posts that should be, or hidden, column.
Well, it depends on the observer height. I don't know what the observer height was.
Yes, but again, say from beach level, 6 feet, from water level, at 22 miles, it's over 300 feet.
That's the drop value. It's they always apply the refracted hidden value.
then you have that lump of water. There should be an eyeball-shaped or a lens-shaped body of water in front of us.
Yeah.
And there should be about 110 feet blocking in front, midpoint, the back turbines.
Which leads me on to my next point that I was trying to say before when I didn't mean to stomp on somebody and Nathan told me off. Notice how we haven't had any conversation about looming or refraction or any of that nonsense.
You're right.
We're talking about objects that we see because they're there, right? Nobody's said anything like, oh, this is a mirage. So why is it not a mirage now?
Well, no. You said
this is what I've been trying to get to you. Why don't you get it? You can't
yeah, so
see
those
it.
are 295
These
feet.
are just local optical phenomena that just seem like a curve. It's not a curve because you can never see the curve. You can only see local optical phenomena that can fool you into believing you're seeing a curve. There's still the looming effect, and that makes it impossible for you to actually see the curvature. Why don't you get this? Why do you keep wanting to look for that curvature? In optics, you can't see it because it's
very
all looming.
furthest one. It's supposed to be 290 feet tall and hidden by over 300 feet of curve. We should see zero of it.
Well, you should if there was no refraction.
Whoa, we're not, come on. Come on, everything's refracting all the way to the front in this photo. Come on, buddy.
You're saying at 6 feet, it's obviously 20 feet is what we used before.
What you see is what you get. It's good enough in HTML.
We know that refraction
is 6 feet or 20 feet.
One at a time.
Yeah, you said 6 feet before, and then you said 20 feet, and I'm not sure which one we're going to use.
Well,
when it
forget,
comes to the
even
globe,
at
it's
10
not
feet
what
off
you
the
see
beach,
is what you get.
You're 200,
it's
almost
looming.
300 feet of curve, and that post at the back is only 290 feet tall. We should not see any.
That's not the number I got. I got 20 feet high, 23 miles away. It's only 200 feet that's hidden.
282 feet.
Well, like I said, I don't know which calculator you're using, but this one says 20 feet high.
Here, I'm going to tell you what calculator, okay? I'm using the affirming the consequent, perspective hijacking, angular size change blinded, bulge compensating, willful diffraction limit ignorant, proof of nothing, Willie Yankin circle jerk calculator. You know it? You know that one?
I use too.
And this is saying 200 feet. I'll use a different one.
The calculator is bought. It doesn't account for looming, so it's no use using it.
Sure.
It's a fabrication that's very primitive, and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, tell me how on the flat plane these would be hidden more than halfway.
Right? 6 feet elevation. Distance is 23.6 miles to the last turbine.
No, it's not 6 feet elevation now.
It's 20 feet.
The hidden amount is 282.99. Is Ranty here?
Yeah.
Sorry, John. It's 20 feet elevation.
Is it 20 feet from Ranty?
Yeah.
All right, let me set it up again. The hidden amount is 219.
Okay.
In feet.
Yeah.
We're seeing more than 3/4 of it.
That doesn't create a problem. Well, even if you didn't use refraction, that's still 80 feet that you should be able to see.
No, I can't use refraction because that's a begging the question fallacy.
They're less than 300 feet tall.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
can't apply curvature calculations to visuals.
Hello.
It doesn't work.
Is that Ranty?
It is Ranty, yeah. Hello.
You're really quiet, Ranty.
Oh, hi.
I've turned you up full, but you're still really quiet.
Right, I'll just type in the side chat then.
We can hear you. Just quiet.
Oh, right, okay. So you've also got to take into account that the blades are 63 meters long. So if you want to work things out from that, that's all well and good. Hub height to the back ones are 90 meters, and it's 63 meters is the length of the blade.
Are the blades the same length on both of them?
No. That's the ones in the background. The ones in the background we're talking about, the far ones. The ones that you're saying that you shouldn't be able to see anyway. Well, the blades above the water prove that you are that what you just said, which you don't even need to include refraction, is utter horse manure, because you're clearly seeing all of the turbine and all of the blade above the waterline.
No, you should still be able to see the turbines, and you do see them. You said 63.
Yeah, you see the hub. I'm talking about the blades.
Oh, you said meters
We know
or
that the
feet? You said
blades are
meters.
63
That's right.
meters, and we know that the hub is measured to 90. That's 27 meters between the actual blade and touching the water. So if it's clearing that, then clearly we're only seeing down to less than 100 feet. Less than 100 feet.
Okay.
Tumbleweed.
Just the maths, bro.
So that doesn't matter then. It completely ballses up your calculator, Goldemo. It's wrong.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
but,
it is wrong. You can't apply the calculator to visuals. Come on.
Yeah, it's an orthographic
Yeah, well,
perspective
how do you
omitting,
explain
begging
why
the
they're being
question,
hidden
proof
on a
of
flat
nothing,
plane?
curve calculator.
I still don't understand how the water hides anything.
Because if it obscures the midpoint...
You can't see it.
Simple.
It doesn't apply looming. You can't see it. It's no use.
Are we getting the same? Are we getting the boats over the horizon thing? What is this? 2015?
I'm asking why they're being hidden by anything. But it says
oh goodness
looming,
gracious!
Perspective. Didn't you listen
Looming
to the
just brings them
demonstrations?
back up.
The guy showed you on a globe, people who walk away from you should rise up against the horizon. But they don't. Yeah? Things get smaller towards the midpoint. Things converge at the horizon. And if their angular size is too small, it will disappear behind that horizon. But if that point is a pair of shoes on your feet that are too small to see, it doesn't mean if you put the shoes on, you won't see your body above that line. So perspective can obscure things. That is compounded by the fact that water can intersect the midpoint of convergence. Therefore, this is most likely what will happen. It will block your vision from the midpoint. Therefore, bottom-up obstruction.
You said the water would obstruct, you said 100 and something feet of it?
Yes, because something in the near close foreground, this is by virtue of something you totally ignore in the calculations called, dun dun dun, perspective. Something small like a water drop in the near foreground can obscure an entire building because it is reduced in angular size in the background. 1 millimeter of water can obscure a 100-foot building. It's amazing. It's called perspective.
From 20 feet high, the size wave that we need to obstruct something that far away or that close is not
wrong. I have just explained. Try to listen. A millimeter of water, if it is in the near foreground and above the midpoint, can obscure a 200-foot building in the distance because the thing in the distance has reduced in angular size and therefore, by perception, has become closer to the horizon. So if that water droplet is above the midpoint, it will obscure a 200-foot building. It is called
and you think that
perspective.
You think that there's anything that's above 20 feet in between you and the
doesn't have
that
to be
object?
above 20 feet. As you look into the distance, the line that you see is converging, raising up to your eye level. So while something in the close near foreground might have to splash up to 6 feet to obscure the midpoint in your camera, something in the far distance will not need to splash up anywhere near as high by virtue of perspective to obscure the midpoint.
Yeah, when you're talking about the eye level, the midpoint, and you're talking about 6 feet, it's 20 feet high, and you're talking about an eye drop, it would have to be sufficiently far away, this turbine, which is not, in order for it to be obscured by something that was so small as a millimeter drop of water.
Anthony,
so
can you bring up
none
that
of those things are
picture?
happening.
Have you got it to hand? Are you there? Hopefully Anthony's not on the phone.
No, I'm here. I'm here. You want the one with the water droplets, yeah?
Yes, please.
Bear with me. I think I may have them. Oh, it's in that PowerPoint presentation where Sly got boinked. So bear with me. I'll have to do it through. I'll have to do it through the presentation because I don't think I've got the original
That's
file,
all right.
or if
It
I
doesn't
haven't,
matter.
quickly. Am I sharing?
Not yet.
Screen share. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
See what's on screen?
Do you understand? Do you see what I'm saying, though?
Well, do you see what we're saying? One drop.
What we're showing.
I understood what you guys were saying. Now I'm going to see what you guys, how you guys are going to prove that this is happening. Because I said this eye drop has to be sufficiently close. The object in the background has to be sufficiently far away, right? This is not, this picture you're showing me has nothing to do with the picture we just saw.
Why not? It's over water and there's a little splash. This is actually a very, very calm day. And what do you know? You still get splash.
That's fine. What does a splash have to do with the other picture?
Well, because it's over water as well on a less calm day.
Yeah, that's not what you're seeing. You're not seeing splash.
You're not seeing that. That's precisely what we're seeing. This day is less... sorry, this one that's on... Sorry, Anthony keeps changing the picture. The picture on screen now is less calm than this picture.
Mm-hmm.
Just lucky timing. He happened to catch a splash in the near foreground.
No, you guys convinced me, actually.
You have to concede, dude. The narrowing down of the field
there's
of view
definitely drops
will
of water
make
that just
things
hit
that are relatively small, obscure things that are much further away. This is just how perspective works. Doesn't mean that's not a ball.
But when I asked you to describe what's
because you can still apply looming, but
drop
visually, this is how it works. You can't mistake that for curvature. Because you can't see curvature. You can never see curvature. You have to concede to that.
Yeah, so then what are you seeing?
It is visually impossible to perceive curvature.
Then what is it?
Okay.
You're saying water droplets.
Optical.
I say no.
Can I
it's
ask
an optical phenomenon. I keep telling you this. You can never see curvature. These are all optical phenomena.
Mm-hmm. If somebody had a question, and Arwen, you could describe to me what is that phenomenon that's hiding a third of those, or half, however much it is of those turbines.
I tried to tell you, it is water in the foreground.
What kind of water? The droplets or the tiny waves?
The waves.
Tiny waves, anything. It is all narrowing down in the field of view because it's very far away and the observer is very close to that flat surface of the water.
You're thinking in orthographic, yeah? As things go towards the midpoint, they rise up to your vision. So a splash in the middle of this distance wouldn't have to necessarily be an enormous tsunami wave seen inside profile because you have the effects of perspective.
Yeah, and the closer it was to you, the more of an effect.
You don't need to tell us about perspective, right? You don't account for it. Arwen,
sorry.
You don't have to tell us. Oh, you go ahead, Arwen. My bad.
Sorry. It's just...
Kim, you don't need to tell us. Oh, you literally are going to literally continue carrying on talking over me before I get to end my point, Arwen. Thanks a bunch. For the love of God. Right, you don't need to tell us about perspective, Goldemo, right? You don't account for it.
Yeah, I just did account for it.
No, you don't. You're begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective omitting calculations that tell you how much should be obscured. Ignore perspective.
Yeah, and how much is...
Yeah, and no. They ignore perspective. I don't need you to give me any detailed explanation about what things that have to do with perspective do. I'll tell you about it, because we see flat. We see no curve. And how do things get obscured? Well, we have perspective. Things that rise up towards the midpoint may obscure your view. Simple.
Yeah, but that's happening here, and you know that. Yeah,
I know that, because it's flat. Flat as a pancake. We see no curve in any images. Nothing you will say will change that. Yeah? Your proof of nothing, begging the question, perspective omitting calculator, says we should see curve in these images. We don't. When your mate modelled them, it shows we should see curve in them. We don't. When our man here, block for block, modelled it, we should see curvature. We don't.
If the wave was halfway in between you and that object, it would have to be 50 feet tall.
Only in orthographic view, you moron.
No, I'm telling you from any view.
Father.
No, in orthographic view, it would have to be physically bigger to obscure the midpoint. In perspective view, it wouldn't. Yeah, you want the 50-foot wave to obscure the 50-foot thing in actual sizes. Clearly not keeping up to date with the flat earth debate. We don't see things in actual sizes, so your 50-foot arbitrary wave is not actually needed to be 50 foot. It just needs to be risen up to the midpoint, which is precisely an effect of perspective, something your proof of nothing, begging the question, perspective omitting calculator ignores. Yeah, that's right, it does. So stop telling me about what the effects of perspective are. You ignore them.
But you gave me the effects of them and then didn't describe how big the wave would have to be. You said it could be a water droplet. And then
yeah, and then we showed it with a picture.
Nathan?
Anthony, bring the picture back up. This dumbass is blind as well as deaf.
No, I see what they're doing. But if you're saying
what are they doing? What are they doing? Tell us what they're doing.
They're basically scattered in random spots all over the map, and they could be hiding objects. But they
are hiding objects. What do you mean could be? Yeah, they are hiding objects.
Are they hiding 8 turbines in a row?
Yeah, one of them. I'll circle it right now. Oh, Anthony, for God's sake, just leave the picture on. Right, this one is about the height of a mountain. It's absolutely amazing. It's probably only ½ an inch in diameter, and yet it's obscuring a mountain. Isn't that incredible? Something you ignore in your calculations because apparently it's not needed to be accounted for.
Yeah.
In an orthographic view, this would obscure nothing. It's only a millimetre, so this would literally obscure nothing in orthographic view. And yet, here we are in perspective reality, and it's blocking a whole bloody mountain. Isn't it incredible?
Yeah.
The things that you would account for if you only acknowledged perspective. But unfortunately, you idiots on the globe side of this argument like to use a calculator that assumes you're on a sphere and ignores perspective.
Well, good luck with all that, you guys. Water droplets don't hide conveniently 8 beams, but we can pretend they do for the sake.
Nathan, can I add a point, please?
On screen! Am I going nuts here? Why has he just told me that I'm pretending? I've got my mouse over it. I'm circling it now. There's a mountain behind, and then there's a water droplet splashing in front of it. Anything that's behind it, despite the fact it's only 2 millimeters, is obscured. It's on screen.
Do you know how that works, Nathan? Or does
it's called perspective. I know exactly what it works like, and you ignore every single element of it in your begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective omitting, curve calculator.
I gave you the size of the wave because that's really the size of the wave it would have to be.
No, that's what you do if you were looking it side on in orthographic, not accounting for perspective. That's what your calculator does. So a millimetre of wave ain't going to obscure anything in an orthographic view.
Yeah. This is even lower than it would have to be, and this is even halfway. So if it was even further away than halfway, it would have to be even bigger.
I can address that. It
wouldn't, because it would have risen up towards the midpoint by virtue of perspective. Yeah? It would be closer to the midpoint. Things rise up. This part of the water here is the same level as this part. But what do you know? It's higher up in the frame. Closer to the midpoint. Something that perspective does.
Yeah.
Well, I'd tell you, if it was 50 feet, it would be higher than the midpoint regardless. So that wouldn't matter. But if it was sufficiently shorter than the eye level, it would have to be only at a closer level. The further away it got, it wouldn't do anything at that point. It would never hide 100 feet of
it would.
The turbine.
If the observer height is close enough to the plane that is obscuring things into the distance, then yeah, because the closer you get to the level of in this case, the water, the closer by this falls, the slant will appear to be. So in this picture, what is actually obscuring things in the background is very, very close in relation to that mountain, that hill way back there. It is probably like 1/5 of the distance away. It is so close.
Well, no,
that in relation, yes, it is. That is how it works, because the observer is so close to the ground.
Probably
the
more
slant starts very close by, and thus, due to angular size, obscures much more of what is much further away. That is.
If I was going to guess, I'd say 10 miles.
That is how perspective works. That is how the field of view works. The closer you are to the ground, the more will be obscured by the very plane that you're looking over.
But do you see the scale? It's about 1.5 million
scale. If you're very
distance.
close to the ground, the closer by, the obscuring will start. That is how it works.
Just want to do a couple of quick shout outs. One to Joseph Saunders and the other to Earth is Seriously Flat. Earth is Seriously Flat and Joseph Saunders. Thank you very much for the super chats.
Yeah, Owen, I don't think you're gonna get to this guy. I don't think.
No, you can't convince me something that's not possible, man.
keep
I mean, I'm
on
sorry.
Because you honestly,
How about this? Why don't any one of
can't
you try to describe to me what could sufficiently be hiding those objects, and I will settle that. We'll
The
settle that. It's
problem
not a water
is you
drop.
keep on entertaining this. Don't entertain it anymore.
You can test this very
the only
effect
Glober in here
yourself
right
by looking over a surface very closely. Then you'll see that you won't be able to see very far.
Get another one in here. Get another crayon muncher in here. I've seen that. I've seen, what's his name? That crayon muncher in the chat. I usually don't look at chat, but I've seen him in here. Gem Panda. Come on in here, you crayon muncher.
You want to call Gem Panda a crayon muncher? That's fair enough. I would totally agree with that statement. Because, yeah, these guys are perspective deniers, and ultimately speaking, they're all going to get held to account. We're going to hold every last one of their toes to the fire.
Oh, he left.
Can I ask a question, please?
Of course you can.
Given that you seem to sound as though you know what you're talking about, perhaps you could educate me and explain to me why it is that the turbine hubs appear to be dead straight, but the bottoms appear to be curving. If it was curve, shouldn't they both be curving together?
He got frustrated and left.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he is scared. He didn't like people saying there's no curve to see. He'd rather just invoke the curve that we don't see instead of the perspective that we do.
I thought we were making
the guy
progress.
sounds like he's trying to be somewhat genuine, but it's like I don't know. It's like the cognitive dissonance just will not allow him to see what he doesn't want to see. Like we're witnessing firsthand just what
it's
cognitive
exactly the other way
really
around.
is.
Yeah, don't try to diagnose this stuff. Listen, it's real. You know, yeah,
He
we don't
can't
need any
handle that he
diagnosis.
can't see what he wants to see. He wants to see the curve, but it's not there, so he mistakes all these optical phenomena due to perspective, due to the narrowing down of the field of view, due to miraging at that layer, also related to perspective, and they want it to be curvature so much they don't get it that it's impossible to see because it is all looming.
Yeah, but with
You
this,
can't see the curvature. It
Yeah,
is
but with this-
impossible to see because
Okay,
it all
we got
looms
it.
into a flat plane.
we got it. Okay, all we need is for this proof, for the turbine's proof, we need a non-linear linear line. End of
That's it.
story. Let's move on.
They need the formula for looming, but it's very hard to fabricate. It's one of the most complicated mathematical tasks ever devised, and nobody can handle it. They need very advanced artificial intelligence to do it. Nobody's up to it yet. They will get it eventually.
I just don't understand why so many people allow math and equations to govern their reality.
Because Tesla's words are true.
Because it's the only way to get their ball.
Yep.
But like, once they see it, why can't they wake up out of it? That's my problem.
Because they want
I can
the
understand
ball.
fighting it.
Once you want the ball, you'll never stop wanting the ball. They want balls. Can't help it.
I'm gonna paraphrase Tesla's quote against Einstein's relativity. Instead of Einstein's relativity, let's apply it to heliocentricity. Heliocentricity's work is a magnificent mathematical garb which fascinates, dazzles, and makes people blind to the underlying errors. The theory is like a beggar clothed in purple, whom ignorant people take for a king. Its exponents are brilliant men, but they are metaphysicists rather than scientists. How that?
Very cool. And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And, of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know precisely what to do. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you have not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!